Sunday?
A little bit of both.
Because you were telling the officials how much you appreciate their work?
They do a great job.
Al, you got a poltergeist in your office?
Yeah, it's all right. I was going.
All right, I'll give you guys injuries real quick. So E. Moore is dealing with a quad. He's going to be day-to-day. LDT, Tardif, he's day-to-day. Tevin Coleman and Michael Carter II are in the concussion protocol. Wesco's day-to-day with an ankle. Griffin's day-to-day with an ankle. Rankins is day-to-day with a knee. None of them are practicing today.
Long list.
It's a long list.
Bodies?
We'll figure it out.
How serious is Elijah's injury?
We'll know more as the week goes on. Still hopeful that he'll be able to make it Sunday.
Is that related to the injuries suffered in training camp?
No, this one, it came on really late, so I didn't have any detail on Monday. Didn't really get a hold of it until really Tuesday, so.
If you have no more, and then Corey's down, is Keelan back off COVID yet?
Yeah, Keelan's here, he's practicing.
Okay.
What's going on with Mike White?
Mike White is still going through the return to play as it pertains to COVID. Kind of similar to Mims, because he had 2 weeks. There's a process that they have to go through to get him back, so we're working through that.
Robert, do you have an update on the con?
No update yet. It's really the same, because he hasn't had a setback or anything. He's just, everyone's different in terms of how they heal and all that stuff, so hopefully we can get something going soon, but it's all the same.
He
I
was
understand.
supposed to be on the field, like field work?
He's still doing field work, yeah.
I understand that everyone's different and some people take a little longer, but this was originally a 4 to 6 recovery, then went 4 to 8. We're now about a month past that 8-week timetable. I mean, is it alarming at all that he's not?
No, because his was different. You're right, it was different in terms of, if you guys remember, there was that talk of whether or not there was going to be surgery to shut it down too. So his was a little bit different than the other one. So always felt like it was going to be more, personally, just because of the way it was spoken was different than McDermott's. But so I'm not at all surprised or discouraged. I think he'll be back and he'll be fine.
So you still think he'll be back this season?
Hopefully, yeah, I'm so hopeful.
How do you balance that with only 5 games left? When does it become too late that it's worth getting him out there on the field?
No, I don't think it ever is too late. If I think he's got a desire to play for his teammates, play for his family and all that. So whether it's 1 game, 2 games, I don't think it really matters to him. He just wants to get back on the field.
Where would he play if he came back?
What's that?
Where would he play if he came
I'll speculate on that one later.
With Mackay, though, is there a point where you have to say, like, okay, if he's not back by here, we're just going to shut it down?
No, I'm not ready to even think about that one yet, Connor.
Austin Walter getting signed to the active roster. Is that any indication that Michael Carter might be further away than you guys thought?
No, with Tico and the concussion protocol, and he already used both of his practice squad eligibility. We need 3 backs up on game day. So,
Got it. Is there any update on Bryce Huff? Robert, do you still expect him to be back this season?
yeah, really hopeful that he's back next week. I'm very optimistic on that one.
When you look at the Saints, the reports out of New Orleans this morning are that Kamara will be back. Obviously, you guys had some issues against the run on Sunday. What kind of challenge is that for your defense?
He's one of the best in the league. He's got tremendous contact balance. He's a savvy runner. He's very smart. He's great out of the backfield in the pass game. So I'm sure they're excited to get him back and get him back involved, especially down the stretch for them. They've been hit with the injury bug too, and they're on a little bit of a losing streak, and they're a very prideful organization with a tremendous head coach. So I know that they're really chomping at the bit to get him going and to try to feed him the rock. So having him back, he's an issue, but something that we've got to be excited about attacking. So.
I know the record isn't what you'd hope, but do you kind of drill down when you look at this rookie class and see some things that are at least glimmers of hope for down the line? Yeah,
I drill down on all of it. I know results. This is a results-oriented business. I want to make sure that's very clear, so we understand it still comes down to wins and losses. But the reality is that you do have to look through and see where what are the building pieces, and what direction does this organization and team need to go to get us into that perennial discussion as it pertains to playoffs and championships, and that picture is super clear. And this rookie class is fantastic. The youth that we have on this team is fantastic. Some of the vets that we have on this team there's a lot of really great things to work off of on this roster, and there's a lot of guys that will get back from injury that'll add to this team. So there's a lot of really cool pieces on this team, and there's a lot of things to look forward to, but it still comes down to we've got 5 games left too, and to take one game at a time and focus on making sure we're doing everything to continue to solidify our identity and the direction that we want to get with our schemes, and then obviously the players as with the quarterback, the receivers, the young secondary we got going. There's still a lot of growth to be had at those positions, and that's where we're relentlessly trying to make sure that we maximize every last bit of it.
Robert, since week 5, that's where kind of like the defensive decline began. How much of it has it started from just not being able to stop the run? 'Cause right now, since that span time, you guys have allowed the most rushing touchdowns and the second most rushing yards. So how much has the defensive decline stemmed from not being able to stop the run?
I think anytime when an offense, as a defense, you're always trying to make a team one-dimensional. So when an offense can run, pass, play action, and really get themselves in favorable 3rd and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 because of their ability to run the ball and move and push forward, it makes it very hard. So in the first half of the year, if you remember, we were top 10 in 3rd down, we were top 10 in red zone. I mean, we were playing really, really good ball in those situations. A lot of that had to do with we were averaging a longer third down than we are now, and it's something that we got to when our best defensive games are when we do stop the run, and it's something that obviously everyone's locked in on trying to make sure that we do, but it stems so much more than just the yardage total. It's about the down and distances, and trying to get it to where we're living in 3rd and 7, 8, 9, 10 to give our D-line a chance to get home.
How much more challenging is it to stop the run when, obviously, you guys know the issues that, we've talked about it a ton, the issues that you guys have at safety right now where, Ashton's kind of filling in for Marcus, and you have Elijah filling in for Joyner, who you lost a while back. The corners, you're down there as well with Eccles out. So you want to stop the run. I know in layman's terms, you just put the extra guy in the box, but in doing that, then you're putting more pressure on the secondary, so you have to protect the secondary too.
No, it's a good point, and it's everyone's got to stand up, do their job, right? And there's from a play calling standpoint, also for us as coaches, we've got to do a good job of playing the cat and mouse game and sending our single man pressures and bringing an 8th man down in the box and trying to figure out how we can get the safeties to be more aggressive in the run fit, and then at the same time with the D line. We always talk about gap and a half, do your job a little bit more, and when you have that matchup that you feel good about, to be able to steal a gap, whether it's CJ stealing a gap at the linebacker spot or Foley 2-gapping in that A-gap or whatever it might be. But stopping the run it really is a collective deal, and it includes coaches with regards to putting us in good situations and making sure that they're always off kilter with regards to what we're trying to do to stop the run. So.
Back in training camp, talking about Zach, and you said it's going to get better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Did you anticipate that with the defense, knowing that it's the first year in the system and you guys have to go through a lot?
You always, especially on defense, you want to get better as the year goes on. For me, in my mind, defense, you should be playing your best ball as it gets closer to playoff time. When it gets cold outside, the weather gets nasty, and you want to see growth and improvement. And we have seen some growth and improvement. Obviously, the run game's been a struggle since the bye week. I do think the secondary is starting to get into a rhythm, but we've got to be able to step up. Now, I will say this, as bad as the Philadelphia game may have looked, I do think in the second half we were able to stand up, hold them out, keep them out of the end zone, hold them to 3 field goals, 2 of which I feel like we're given. So I do think there's growth to be had, and I don't want one game to define what they've been able to do. I thought we played well versus Miami, got a lot better versus Houston, finished strong versus Philadelphia. Now we got another opportunity against a really good New Orleans team with one of the best play callers this league's ever had. So it's another challenge for us to try to step up, find a way to get better, and again, finish the season strong. We've got 5 games left to do everything we can to finish as strong as possible.
When you went through injuries in San Francisco, you talked about, you overcame it because it was year 4 in the system or things like that. How important is it going to be to keep some of these guys in the system for that to happen?
Yeah, so that is a big part of it. People always ask, and it's, when you have, even if you have veterans or coaches, when as a coach, I'm going to put it back on coaches. When you're going through and you're installing the system, you start to learn all the different snakes that can pop out of the ground based on the scheme and how teams attack, and you can deliver it to your players in a much cleaner way. And then from a player standpoint, one guy in the D-line, one guy at linebacker level, one guy in the back end, that's all it takes. And then they're able to communicate and really take all this foreign language and make it English for everybody to where it's easily digestible. So it is important to have continuity. It is important to have all that. So, and when you do get a surge of injuries and you have young guys rotating into the lineup, you're able to weather the storm and continue to play good, sound, fundamental defense where you're flying around and you're playing with all your God-given ability rather than thinking and learning as you're trying to figure it all out.
What have you seen from Taysom Hill on film, and how much different does the New Orleans offense look without Drew Brees there now?
We unfortunately I got to play Taysom twice. We played New Orleans 2 years in a row. So Taysom runs his butt off when he becomes a ball carrier. He's a heavy runner. He's hard to tackle. He's violent. He can throw the football. He adds a different element in terms of, they still run all the same stuff that Sean's always run, that dynamic, different formations, tempo in and out of the huddle, the explosive plays, the precision and as it pertains to drop back pass. But the element of the quarterback run game comes into play with Taysom. That's the big difference. And it's not like zone read. It's almost wing T-ish, where he's going to put the ball on his right arm and it's power. And it's what Carolina used to do with Cam Newton. So that dynamic makes it very difficult. But at the same time, it's again all 11 hats on board, where we just got to sting him when he runs it, and it's going to be a tremendous challenge. Obviously, it's different than when Drew ran it, but it's all the same concepts. It's all the same type of offense with the added element of the quarterback run game.
You said immediately after the game that you felt that Zach did a lot of things very, very well, especially early on. Did the benefit of film work, and then dealing with him this week give you any indication that it was either even better than you thought, or that kind of gives you reason to think that he can kind of stack this a little bit?
I do, with Zach, Zach is a relentless film. I mean, I've been on record. He probably watches more film than he needs to sometimes, and he's such a competitor that he recognizes what defenses are in, and he wants to make people pay. And one of the great things that I think that one of the big steps he took last week was, like we talked about, to sit in the pocket, play within the rhythm of the offense. It's okay to be a robot through the timing of the play, and then from there go be Superman when you need to make the play work if it breaks down. In that first half, you saw that. I mean, he hit his back foot. The ball was coming out, and I think it was like 2.6. I mean, it was the fastest he's released it all year, and he was for the most part accurate. He still got to control his fastball, but he was ripping the ball with confidence. His eyes were in the right spot. His feet were very settled. They were getting pointed to where he needed to throw, and we marched up and down the field in those first 3 drives, and then the rhythm got away in the second half because of lack of possession, which is another learning experience for him, in that he's got to be able to step on the field, and the offense has to be able to step on the field with long droughts and still be able to perform. But his game was a really good step forward. Now he's got to go stack it up and do it again, and obviously it starts with practice. I know we don't like talking about practice very much around here, but he still has to go do it and trust it, because I thought last week was one of his better weeks, and it translated to the game, and I just got to go do it again.
One last one.
In regards to Taysom Hill, obviously he's a much better runner at this point than he is a passer. So how much and we talked a little bit about, trying to put them in teams in third and longs. So how much would that be more exaggerated this week, knowing that if you can get Taysom Hill in some longer passing situations, that could be benefit for the defense?
Longer situations will be beneficial against any quarterback, but obviously with Taysom, he gets a lot of flack because he had the interceptions on Thursday, but a lot of those came after he hurt his finger, which, from my understanding, is fully healed. So I have a lot of respect for him as a quarterback. He gets the ball where it needs to go and all that stuff. And but to answer your question, keeping him on 3rd and 6 plus, that's the goal for every team that we played, not just New Orleans.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thanks, guys.
You just can't talk about practice after a loss, Ron.